Hello and welcome back to another video on the Wrestling's Bate and to another edition of NXT 2.0 out of 10. It's a big show today because last week it was announced that Worlds Collide will take place and it seems like we're going to be unifying a lot of NXT UK and NXT belts. So yeah, like I said, it's going to be a big show and interesting to see what happens on this episode of NXT. So let's get straight into it, and it kicked off with a recap of Heatwave, and Bron was out first. He speaks about his match against JD McDonough before bringing out Tyler Bate, who came out after the match. Bate joined him in the ring, and we learned that in 2 weeks at Worlds Collide, Bate and Breaker would fight to unify the belts, and the winner would become the undisputed champ. And yeah, good start to NXT this. Really decent promo from Bron, putting himself over, putting the belts over, putting Tyler over. And yeah, I really think this match is going to be an absolute banger. Can't wait for it. And yeah, I think it'll go Bron's way, but still, we know how great Tyler Bate is and how much Triple H likes him. So yeah, it's going to be a really intriguing match either way. So yeah, really fun start to NXT. But anyway, the first match was Briggs and Jensen versus Gallus for the NXT UK tag titles. Before the match, Helen and friend Ash Legend were brawling backstage, and Briggs and Jensen had to break it up before heading to the ring for the match. Wolfgang and Briggs were in the ring, and Gallus had control of the match early on after Wolfgang unloaded on Briggs right off the bell. Jensen then came in off the tag and got a running dildo before Gallus took back control with some big moves. We saw Lash Legend came out and attacked Henley at ringside, and the champs headed out to help her, abandoning the match. The referee called for a count out before Diamond Mine came and laid down Gallus. And yeah, this gets a 6 out of 10 from me. The match wasn't bad. I don't know, I just kind of wanted a bit more. I didn't feel like ladies interrupting really helps it. So yeah, on the whole, I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. We then saw a promo with Charlie Dempsey, William Regal's son, teaching Chase students how to wrestle. Bodie and another student faced some brutal submission moves and tapped out in seconds. Andre was not happy and ordered them to do more training basically and go easier. Grayson Waller was debuting his new show next with Apollo, and the guest was asked why he's a clout chaser. Cruz brushed it off as Waller being jealous before Waller asked about the Nigerian accent and let he drop before coming to the developmental brand. Cruz said that he was proud of his heritage before Weller asked about his supposed ability to tell something bad was about to happen. The conversation got heated and asked Waller how it felt to be a low budgeted Miz. The two were getting in each other's faces, and Cruz smacked Waller and took him down before the segment was over. And yeah, this was actually some really enjoyable stuff, some much harder fights than I thought was going to happen, to be honest. But really enjoyable promo. Good fun. So yeah, not bad at all. Von Wagner then announced backstage that he was going to crush Tyler Bate in their match next week. It was then time for Cameron Grimes versus Javier Bernal. Gacy was on the balcony and wished Grimes good luck before the match. Bernal tried to distract the ref and got an early advantage but failed to capitalise on it. Grimes then got a big kick and followed that with a back body drop to take the rookie down. Grimes then hit a cave-in and stared Gacy down as he got the pin, ending his losing streak. And yeah, just kind of a simple match really to build this Grimes and Gacy feud. Just kind of felt like a passing week really, but it did its job. Gacy's still there, Grimes ends his losing streak, which is good I suppose, and yeah, just can build the story on from there. So yeah, straight down the middle, 6 out of 10 from me. It was then time for Indy Hartwell versus Blair Davenport. Hartwell started off strong but was sent out to ringside by Davenport as the match went on. Blair then hit a neck breaker and springboard move for a near fall before trying for a Cobra Clutch. Hartwell then returned with a senton before getting a spine buster for a near fall. She followed up with an uppercut and a big boot before being dropped from the top rope. Davenport had a devastating brainbuster and picked up the win. After the match, she called out Mandy, and she came out and said Blair was now in her world and she needs to respect her. The NXT UK Women's Champion, the legend Miko Sakamura, then walked out and set up a title unification match at Worlds Collide. Davenport joined in and said that she was still the number one contender before Miko agreed to have a triple threat match. And yeah, I can't wait for that. That's just going to be a brilliant match. Miko Sakamura, great to see her in main NXT. And yeah, I can't wait to see that, guys. But anyway, that wasn't the main thing post-match because Indy was still in the ring and she said she hit rock bottom. Dexter Loomis showed up at ringside and the two had a reunion before they left together without a word. And shortly after, we saw Dexter bow out of the arena and get arrested while Indy was looking at a note that read, "Goodbye, Indy. For now, I love you forever." Just beautiful stuff, so emotional. Such beautiful television on NXT 2.0. But yeah, it was just lovely to get this storyline fired up, and maybe Index is coming to the main roster. I'd love to see that as well. But yeah, this was good stuff. 7 out of 10 from me. Legado del Fantasma then took on the Dyad. Wild and Del Toro were dominating early with their high-flying moves, but Tony interfered and told them to do less of the aerial stuff. So the Dyad then got a huge double team move at ringside and Del Toro before isolating him in the ring. The tag was made and Wild came in to clear the ring. And Grimes was watching from the match from the balcony, and Gacy and the Dyad reached their arms out, inviting him to join. And meanwhile, Tony D was yelling at Legado for doing the flippy stuff. And yeah, kind of like a whole bunch of stuff going on, a bit convoluted, but on the whole, wasn't too bad at all. Gets a 6 out of 10 from me, did its job. The diode looked good here, but I still do miss the Grizzled Young Veterans. In the parking lot, Legado was then making their way out, and an SUV pulled up, and Santos Escobar was in the driver's seat. He said he wouldn't leave NXT without La Familia before the three drove off and Santos drove off, so presumably they're all going into the main roster together. I mean, what's the flipping point of that match last week? Just brainless that. But anyway, then it was time for Tyler Bate versus Von Wagner, which we're getting this week apparently. Wagner got a massive fall-away stand before Bate sent him outside and hit a dive over the ropes, taking him out. Bate then reversed the powerbomb, but was taken down with a clothesline for a near fall before Wagner took some punches from the NXT UK champ before blocking a lariat. Bate then got the exploded suplex before going up for the top of him. Stone sent on him Tomiko and picked up the W. And yeah, this was good stuff. 7 out of 10. Did its job. Good to see Bate getting the victory over a more established star. Really put him over to people who aren't quite as familiar as him. So yeah, did well. 7 out of 10. Backstage, Diamond, Briggs and Jensen then set on the match while ignoring whatever Roddy Strong had to say. And then it was time for Wendy Chivas, Tiff Stratton in a lights out match. Stratton was sent outside early on, and Wendy attracted her with a trash can. The former came back with a toolbox and used a weapon to take Chu down. Chu then sets up a trash can in the corner of the ring and tries to isolate Stratton, but was sent in first into herself. After a break, there was a bed at ringside and Tiffany was trying to put Wendy through it. Stratton then put a pink steel chair on Chu and tried for a corkscrew route up, but the latter dodged it and suplexed her onto the chair instead. Chu then used a weapon of some sort to lock in a crossface before Stratton sprayed on her face. Chu then was powerbombed into the trash can before beating Stratton with a pillow loaded with Legos. Chu then jumped the Legos out with the ring and tried to slam Stratton on them, but took a foot-away stand before being dropped on the plastic toys. Chu then kicked out at the top of the Legos before sending Stratton through the bed outside, which was a table. Chu headed up and got her finisher, picking up the victory. And yeah, I thought this was going to be interesting, and it turned out to be exactly that. Really good use of the lights out match. I thought it worked well in this stipulation. Chu getting the win is the right decision for me, so 7 out of 10, good end to the NXT. And then backstage we saw the 5 people involved in the unification match that Worlds Collide signing their titles all together, which is very nice. But yeah, that's the end of the NXT really. Overall this week, NXT 2.0 gets a 6 out of 10 from me. I thought it was an okay episode of NXT this week. There's some really good bits in there. I enjoyed the last 2 matches, but I think there could have been, just some bits throughout it that I just wasn't completely in favour of. So yeah, it wasn't quite at the levels of the last few weeks, but it still wasn't terrible. But anyway guys, that's the video. Thanks so much for watching. Like, share, subscribe, and thoughts, comments down below. Follow to get daily wrestling news and subscribe to the channel, and we greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out.